Hello, Math 96. Today's October 27th. This is review day number 2 for the Chapter 2 test. Please open your white note-taking guide to the back to page 144. So I did change the testing date for periods 2, 4, 6. It'll be on Friday. Period 1, 3, 5, it'll be on Thursday. So please take note, period 2, 4, and 6, your test is on Friday. So tonight's homework, make sure you include yourself in the image uploads of all homework and notes into your digital workbook, or your work will not be accepted for grading. Finish any missing assignments, please. Okay, so this is what page 144 looks like. We're again going to only do 2 problems, so you should cross out this bottom line. We won't be using this, and we won't be using the bottom grid here. So we're only going to do 2 problems. Okay, and this is page 144 in the back of your white note-taking guide. Okay, so before we get there, you can go back and look at your notes on page 25 of your white note-taking guide to review parallel and perpendicular lines. So remember, for parallel lines, we did this yesterday, they have the same M, they have the same slope. Today we're going to do perpendicular lines as a review. So perpendicular lines have 2 things. They're opposites of each other, so one is positive, one is negative. And they're also reciprocals of each other, flipped fractions. That's what a reciprocal means. So if you need to go back and look at some more notes, excuse me, and study, that would be on page 25 of your white note-taking guide. Okay, so if you can take a minute to write down, oh, sorry, this is number 1. That's number 1. Sorry about that. I can change that. So go ahead and write that down while I change this to number 1. There we go. So you're going to write the equation of the line perpendicular to 3y minus 1x equals 12. You're going to write the equation of that line that goes through the point 2, negative 4, and then we're going to graph it. So you should be writing down on page 144 of your note-taking guide what's in the yellow box. You should also label page 144 with Chapter 2, Test Review, Day 2. So here's the title over on the right. Okay, if you need more time, then just go ahead and hit pause. Hit pause on the recording and then you can come back. Okay, so remember, anytime it says write the equation of a line, we're going to use that point slope formula. So y minus y sub 1 is equal to mx minus x sub 1. And for these problems, we have to pay attention to the word perpendicular. So we're going to need, for perpendicular, we need the opposite slopes, and reciprocal. Okay. And we already have the x1, y1 point, so we're all set for these 2 items. What we don't have is the m number, so we have to do a little work for that. So we take the indicated line. You can also call that the given line. Whoops. It's 3y minus 1x equals 12. We're going to solve for y. And you should know what that means, right? We're going to pop over the 1x, so add 1x. So 3y is equal to 1x plus 12. Divide each side, or divide each item by 3. So your y would be equal to, this is 1/3 x. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, so we solved for y. Now we're going to look at the m. And since it says perpendicular, we have to follow these rules, right? So the M of the indicated line is 1/3. We need opposite and the flip or reciprocal. So we need these two things from right here. So that's what we need. So the opposite would be a negative. So this is our new M. So our M has to be, since this one is positive, this one we need to be negative, right? So we need M equals negative something. And then we need to be the flip. So if we flip 1/3, it would be 3/1, which just reduces to M equals -3. So we needed a negative, and we needed the flip. So we're going to march this one up right there. And we're going to use -3. Okay, and then we're going to also plug in the x1, y1. So the x1 is a 2, and the y1 is a -4. And we're going to do our formula. We'll get an equation, and then we can graph it. Okay, so remember these numbers get plugged in here, here, and here. So y minus, and then we're going to plug in -4 is equal to the slope, and x minus, and then we're going to plug in a 2. You do a little distributive property and solve again, and you'll be all set. So we're going to distribute. Over here we have to go plus, plus. Remember, two negatives together, you have to go plus, plus. So y plus 4 is equal to -3x, and -3 times -2 is +6. For our line, we need to move over the 4, so subtract 4. So we have the line y equals -3x, and 6 minus 4 is 2. Okay, so there we go. We wrote the equation of a line that would be perpendicular. Now we graph it. So to graph, M is to move, right? So remember, it's in the order of y equals mx plus b. So we're going to move as -3/1. So down 3/1. And b is where you begin. So we're going to begin at +2. So that's how you graph it. So now to graph, you're going to do these items. Okay. Remember, for grading purposes, I need you to make the dots big. So we're going to begin at 2. You always begin on the y-axis. So we're going to begin at 2. So go to the center and up 2. Make a big dot. And then we're going to move down 3/1. So 1, 2, 3/1. Make a big dot. And then do it again. Down 3/1. And please make the dots big. And you always move your hand to the right. So you down 3, move to the right. Down 3, move to the right. Do not go down 3 and put a dot over here. Don't go this way. That's to the left, and that's the wrong way. That's the most common student error. Don't do that. It's down and to the right. You're always moving your hand down and over that way, down and over that way, down and over that way, to the right, always. That's usually the only thing I need to fix in senior years, which way you run your hand. And then just draw a straight line. And again, doing the best I can with just this board. And it's very important that you do not have a short stubby line. It has to be a long line because of what we're going to do in chapter 3. So your line always goes across the whole grid. Okay, one more. You may hit pause if you're not done with your notes here. So hit pause on the video. Okay, if you could write down number 2, write down on page 144 of your white note-taking guide. Write down the problem in yellow. Write down all those words. Write the equation of a line perpendicular to 10y plus 5x equals 9. That goes through the point 5, 4, and then graph it. You can hit pause here if you need to. Okay, write the equation of a line. We're going to use that formula, point slope formula. Y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. We already have the point, x1, y1. And the word says perpendicular. So we're going to take the given or the indicated line, which is right here in the story. And we need to solve for y. So that's the first step. If we solve for y, we are going to subtract 5x to both sides. That would be 10y is equal to negative 5x plus 9. We're going to divide each side by 10. So y would be equal to negative 5 over 10x plus 9/10. And then because it's perpendicular, means we need to take the opposite. So we need to find the opposite and the flip of the given m. So our given m, I'll keep that in green for you. So this m is equal to negative 5/10. Our m has to be the opposite and the flip. So RM needs to follow those. So this is a negative 5/10, and maybe I'll make that just a little bit bigger so we can see it's a negative 5/10, right? So RM has to be positive, and it has to be the flip, 10 over 5. And so RM would have to be 10 divided by 5 is equal to 2, positive 2. We're going to take that and we're going to march it right up there into that spot. The m that we're going to use for the problem is going to be m equals 2. Okay, so this will be a 2. The x1 comes from right over here. It's given in the problem. That'll be a 5. And over here at y1 will be a 4. So we're going to plug in here, here, and here. So do it again. Y minus 4 is equal to 2. X minus, and then we're going to put in a 5. Okay, there's no double negatives on this, so we can just do a straight distribute. Sometimes we have that negative business to take care of, right? So this will be y minus 4 is equal to 2x minus 10. We're going to pop the 4 over, so add 4. And then we'll be able to graph the line. So y would be equal to 2x, and a negative 10 and a positive 4 is negative 6. So we wrote the equation of the line. That was the first direction, right? Up here, write the equation of a line. And then the second direction that's given is graph it. So now graph it. So y equals mx plus b is the standard form. M is how you move, and b is where you begin. So your m would be equal to 2 over 1, so up 2 over 1. And you're going to begin at -6. We'll go to the middle of the graph. Remember to start on the y-axis. So 1, 2. So we'll make a big dot at -6. Come down 6. And then from there, up 2 boxes over to the right. Up 2 over to the right. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. And draw your line. Now one a little crooked at the end. And make sure the line goes across the whole grid. Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate your effort. So if you're into doing any kind of computer programming, architecture, the idea of parallel and perpendicular lines is extremely important. Understanding that their slopes are opposite reciprocals is a basic thing in even just construction. So that's how you get a 90-degree angle when you're building houses and things like that. So this is very applicable in real life, in real jobs. The idea that, let me just grab a highlighter here, that one slope, and not that color highlighter, there we go, that one slope is 2 over 1, and the other slope is -5 over 10, which is the same as -1/2, right? So the idea of opposite reciprocals, drawing parallel lines, creates a 90-degree angle, which is important in a lot of construction. Okay, so testing is Thursday for period 135 and Friday for period 246. Thanks. Have a great day.